You want to run that past me again? How'd your ma hurt herself? She spit skull out the window and it blew back in her eye. We've been telling her for years to give up the habit. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, tell her I said I hope she feels better and I'll do the video this week. Yep, no problem. Talk to you later. Bye. Man, what am I going to do now? You know, if I was in Scotland, I'd just stop at an Indian takeaway. But, oh, wait a minute. Mrs. Eatin' Good in the Woods has been on me to make a Malai Chicken Masala. I think that's what I'll do. Y'all stick around. I'll show you how. For this dish, we're going to need 2 large onions, 2 fresh tomatoes, 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, and either a can of coconut milk or some heavy whipping cream. For spices, we're going to need salt, turmeric, coriander, red pepper, cumin powder, and garlic. Today's camping recipe is a dish that comes from India. It's called Malai Chicken Masala. Boy, me and Mrs. Eatin' Good in the Woods sure love a curry. This is a delicious dish that's going to take just a few minutes of prep time at home. Most of this will be done at the campground. But I promise you, you'll be eating within 30 minutes. Okay, let's start off first with the spices you're going to need. Did you notice my little pill thing here? I did a camper hack earlier in the week. I'll do a link up to it right here. You guys can take a look at this. But here's what we're going to need. We're going to need a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of ground coriander, a teaspoon of ground cumin, and we're going to go just a 1/2 teaspoon of your chili powder. Now, some people like their curry hot. I don't particularly like it hot. So we're just going to go 1/2 teaspoon. You can always add more. Close that up, and your spices are ready. All right, so we're going to start by cutting up 2 fresh tomatoes. This right here is about the size you want. Somewhere in that ballpark. So when you're done with that, you can go ahead and put it in a container, stick it in the fridge till you're ready to go camping. The next step in this process is to mince 2 large onions. And there's what your onions should look like. So we're going to put them away with a couple other things too, and then we're going to put them in the fridge and take it to the campsite. To that, we're going to add 5 tablespoons of olive oil, or whatever your oil of choice is, and about 5 cloves of garlic, and about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We'll pack that away in the fridge until it's time to go camping. But last but not least is 2 good-sized chicken breasts that you're going to want to cut down into slightly bigger than bite-sized pieces. So that's it for the home stuff. Let's go to the campground. All right, so here we are at the campground. Got my little butane-powered stove top. Got our cast iron wok heating up. We're going to saute the onions and the garlic in some olive oil. We're going to get these till they start to get just a little translucent. Okay, so here's what we want these things to look like. Starting to get a little translucent. Now we add our tomatoes. These will get cooked until they're really soft and almost disappear into the onions. So we're not quite there yet. I wanted y'all to see we're about midway. You see the tomatoes are starting to disappear into the onions, and the onions are starting to get kind of a orangey, pinky kind of color to them. We're almost there. So all of this, you literally could have done all this at home and stuck it in a container and just heated it up once you got to the campsite, and you're welcome to do that. I just think it tastes a little bit better when you do it fresh. Now, we are where we want to be. If you notice, the onions and the water from the tomatoes have kind of combined and thickened up just a bit. So now, go check out my video on this thing. Now we're going to add our spices. We've got turmeric, cumin, coriander, and red chili powder. I'll throw that all in right now. Give it a good stir. Good heavens, if you could smell that. That's all mixed in pretty well. Let's add our chicken. This is 2 breasts cut into a little bit better than bite-sized pieces. Okay, so we covered it. Gonna get that chicken to cook a little bit quicker. We'll just keep checking back with it. Okay, now we're going to start adding a little bit of water till it gets more of a gravy consistency. So probably, I've already added a little, so maybe that much. And we're going to bring that up to a healthy simmer, and then we're going to add our coconut milk, coconut cream. Here we are. You can see we got us a nice little bit of masala going right here. Now we need to add the malai, which is Indian for kind of a milky cream kind of thing. Now listen, I'm using coconut cream because it's good for my diabetes, but you can use the half and half you brought on your camping trip for your coffee. You can use this. You can use this and then save it for your coffee. You could even mix it with your half and half and reduce your carb load. This stuff is actually very good in coffee. Give it a good shake. We're going to add about half a cup. And about that much. And we're going to let it simmer till it thickens. That right there is the color it should be. Just going to let it simmer. All right. We've done all we can do. This is where we need it to be. Look at that big old pot of goodness. Let's get a little piece of something here. Give it a try. See if we can get a little bit of everything in it. That right there is hardly fit to eat, but I'm telling you, I'm going to keep going until I find me a good spot. I'm telling you, you make this on your next camping trip, not only are you going to have a happy family, but you're going to have your neighbors in the campsite next to you kind of coming around, wondering what that is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be about it for this episode of Eating Good in the Woods, a channel that shows you just because you're camping doesn't mean you got to eat like a hobo. As always, I sure would appreciate it if you was to subscribe, hit that bell icon, give me a thumbs up and a comment or two, and if you feel so inclined, share it to your social media. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all go out there and be nice to each other. I sure love you. God bless you. See you next time.